gentleman will take over. SLAPPs, or strategic lawsuits against public participation, has increased dramatically over the past 2 decades. It's important to know how this nuclear defense motion, which is the anti-SLAPP motion, of choice, has radically changed the legal landscape of California civil litigation. There are now well over 400 published anti-SLAPP decisions in California, 20 of them from the California Supreme Court. The statute has been amended 5 times since it became effective in 1993. Plaintiffs' counsel will learn, and this is very important, please pay attention to this, and I mean it. You'll find out in a minute why. Plaintiffs' counsel will learn how to avoid pleading their complaint into a SLAPP and spot SLAPP issues early before it's too late. The stakes could be higher for plaintiffs and cross-complainants. Defense files a SLAPP motion within 60 days after the service of the complaint or an amended complaint. Once that is filed, the anti-SLAPP motion is filed, there is an automatic stay on all discovery, and you cannot amend your complaint at that point. In other words, you're stuck with the complaint that you have, and if they do an anti-SLAPP, you'll find out that if you lose, you're going to pay a whole lot of attorney fees and may open your doors to malpractice. The plaintiff, once the anti-SLAPP motion is filed, you will find out the plaintiff must produce admissible evidence as to every element of their claim, including the affirmative defenses, which is very difficult because the standard is summary judgment. That's the standard, and you'll find out about that in a minute. If plaintiff fails to make a required showing, then the case shall be dismissed, and the defendant shall be awarded mandatory attorney fees and costs, which are fully compensatory, and that's going to be explained in a minute. If defendant loses the SLAPP motion, the defendant has an immediate right to an appeal and is entitled to all fees for appeal if successful. That includes costs. Plaintiffs do not get fees if they win. Defendants will learn how to use this motion to achieve maximum results on their cases and in settlement discussions. Both sides will learn how expert declarations can make a substantial difference in the outcome of a SLAPP fee motion. If you practice civil litigation, I think actually if you practice family law, anything that you practice, you may come across one of these lawsuits, and if you don't, you will find out that if you file an answer and decide to do some discovery, and 6 months later you say, oh, I'm going to file an anti-SLAPP motion, you'll find out that you may not be able to do that. There's your malpractice right there. So that's at least my opinion. We'll see if that's different. What we will learn today, we're going to learn about the background and history of SLAPP motions, fundamental SLAPP cases and issues, petition SLAPPs versus public issue SLAPPs, the 2 prongs of SLAPP motion and identifying the gravamen of the cause of action. We're going to learn about the significance of mixed causes of action. By the way, the handouts that we provided for you, this is not my work, this is their work. A part of it is my work, and at the end I have actually included a motion, an anti-SLAPP motion that I filed, which was successful. The decision of the judge is also included here. Of course, that lawyer decided to appeal that decision. He lost in the Court of Appeal as well. You can find that online. Just didn't want to make this more than 100 and whatever pages. But he actually went to the Court of Appeal twice and lost. So I thought, there would be a sample right there so you will understand the 2 prongs of the SLAPP are very, very important. You will find out what happens if a motion is granted or denied. We're going to learn about SLAPP fee motions, which are very, very important. SLAPP motions in federal court are a little different. You're going to learn about that. I frankly have not filed a SLAPP motion in federal court, so I'll be learning a whole lot tonight. Plaintiff's consideration in drafting complaints and opposing SLAPP motions. This is, I think, the most important area of tonight's subject. Defense considerations in screening plaintiff, in screening complaints, and making a SLAPP motion, and of course SLAPP back, which, when you think about it, I actually told someone, we have a SLAPP seminar, and he said, what is that, domestic abuse? I said, no, it's sort of an abuse, but yes, but it's not domestic. We're going to learn about exceptions to SLAPP motions, including illegality doctrine and the commercial speech doctrine under CCP 425.17. And we're going to, of course, talk about many significant cases. You can see all of them highlighted over here. So without any further ado, I'm going to have my co